What is good, Raider Nation? Is your boy Raider Alex back with yet another video for you guys. Anybody that's new to the channel, you guys love Raider related content just like this, make sure to like, comment, subscribe to the channel. That being said, let's jump right into the topic of this video. So the Raiders are going to be on the road tomorrow on Black Friday against our arch rival, the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs are currently coming in as 13.5-point favorites over the Raiders. That's kind of insane to me, but at the same time, I understand the Chiefs are 10-1. The Raiders are 2-9. Obviously, these teams have just been complete contrast of each other. You got one team that's found a way to win every single game. They've been playing good football. They take care of the football. They don't turn the football over. Their defense has been good at creating turnovers. Versus the Raiders are one of the worst teams when it comes to turnover differential in the entire National Football League. Currently, the Raiders have 22 giveaways with only 5 takeaways. So the turnover margin is a -17. And that's a really bad turnover margin. The only team that has ever finished worst in these categories in a season was the 0-16 Cleveland Browns back in 2017. So that says a lot. Our head coach, Antonio Pierce, even came out and was super blunt to the media about this matchup.
Yeah, it's called spade to spade, right? The best team in football against the worst team in football. Let's change the narrative, right? Let's go out there and make it a dog fight. Let's make it ugly. Let's make it scrappy. It's Black Friday. Let's create a little chaos. Let's get back to Raider football and have some fun and some personality, let it loose.
So as you heard, if there's one thing you can say about Antonio Pierce is the guy is brutally honest at times. And right there, you can't really deny that fact. The Raiders currently are the worst team in football. Now, technically, if you look at it from a draft perspective, we're technically the second worst team in football, but you definitely understand what he's trying to make of it. Even though the Raiders lost the past 2 weeks against the Miami Dolphins and the Denver Broncos, at least they have shown some fight. They've been in some competitive football. I hope that is the same here against the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, the odd makers, the Vegas sports books, they are anticipating otherwise by having Kansas City being favored by such a high margin. Now, I will say divisional games, a lot of times you just put the record to a side. You're playing for pride. These teams don't like each other. And I do like the message that Antonio Pierce has kind of laid out there for this football team. And it's the fact that, look, we understand we've been a shitty football team all season long, but tomorrow you put that all to the side. You play loose, you play aggressively. At the end of the day, it's still football. If you can find a way to punch somebody in the mouth and impose your will on them, you can turn any game into a competitive matchup. As we saw last week with the Kansas City Chiefs, they just barely scraped out a 3-point victory on the road against the Carolina Panthers, who are also one of the worst football teams in the league. So at the end of the day, it is any given Sunday. Now, I will say from just a player standpoint, comparing the pieces, comparing the talent level, the Chiefs definitely have a huge advantage over us, especially since the Raiders, one of our MOs for this season has been injuries. Key injuries to positions of need, especially on the defensive side of the football, and the injury list continues. Nate Hobbs and Jacorian Bennett are going to be out tomorrow against the Chiefs. So those are two key pieces as well. And one thing I wanted to talk about was Jacorian Bennett. Definitely a huge blow because the Raiders have officially announced that they have placed Jacorian Bennett on the injury reserve list following that shoulder injury he's been dealing with. So definitely tough news. I really liked seeing Jacorian Bennett out there. This season has been a breakout season for him. It's kind of crazy, man. Last year, he went from getting burnt to all of a sudden being a really good cornerback out there. You can make the argument that he's been our best defensive back, our best cornerback this season. He's been locking people down. He had multiple different pass breakups, and he's just really excelled in that press man-to-man system. So definitely is a huge blow. I really did like seeing him out on the football field. One of the bright spots on this football team this season. But now we're going to continue to see a lot more reps from our rookie cornerback, DeCamerion Richardson. It's going to be a huge test going up against the Kansas City Chiefs offense. They got a multitude of different weapons at the wide receiver position. So although very likely the Raiders are going to lose this game, I still think it's going to be an interesting matchup. I think there's a lot of things to watch out for. And, one of those things as well is the fact that we're going to have a new quarterback under center tomorrow. Aiden O'Connell will return into the mix as the Raiders starting quarterback. Gardner Minshew is going to be out for the season. that collarbone injury. He was also put in an injury reserve. And O'Connell is finally back ever since that Week 6 matchup against the Pittsburgh Steelers. So AOC will be out there. It's going to be interesting to see how well he plays. Also, it's going to be super interesting to see how the play calling is this week, because Antonio Pierce has made it known that he does not like the play selection that he's seen the last 2 weeks under Scott Turner. The Raiders have taken a much more heavy approach when it comes to passing the football, and it's going to be interesting to see if we continue that. Personally, I think we should. It's been working for us. Aiden O'Connell is a quarterback that can sling the football. Now, I will say the play calling may change a little bit, because I did see some bootlegs, some plays where we got Gardner Minshew on the move throwing the football. So there'll probably be less plays like that. And also, too, I mean, if there's a week where you want to establish the run, I don't know if it's going to be this week. Going up against that defensive line of the Kansas City Chiefs with Chris Jones, with George Karlaftis, I mean, those guys are no joke. I see it being very difficult for us to establish the run. And really, if we haven't been able to establish the run for 11 weeks already, what makes me think we're going to be able to do it this late in the football season, especially going against a top tier defense? But we will just see what happens tomorrow. I mean, technically, Aiden O'Connell is the last quarterback to beat the Kansas City Chiefs at Arrowhead Stadium. Now, obviously, the defense carried us in that victory. A lot of the players that played in that game last season aren't going to be there tomorrow, so we're just going to have to see what happens. The defensive line is going to have to step up big time if we want a shot to even upset the Kansas City Chiefs. Max Crosby has got to have himself a hell of a day. Tyree Wilson is coming off of a solid performance against the Denver Broncos. He's going to have to build off of that momentum. Obviously, we've got other guys like Charles Snowden, Janarius Robinson. They're going to have to chip in as well. But there's no doubt that the odds are heavily stacked against us tomorrow. Like I said, I just hope to see a tough competitive football game out there. Let it loose. We literally have nothing to lose. So let's just go out there, have fun, and ultimately look forward to trying to ruin another holiday for the Kansas City Chiefs on the road. But Raider Nation, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below of the injury of Jacorian Bennett, Aiden O'Connell being the starting quarterback, and just the overall outlook for tomorrow's game. Let me know in that comment section down below. But with that being said, Raider Nation, that's all for you guys in today's video. Anybody that's new to the channel, you guys love Raider related content just like this, make sure to like, comment, subscribe to the channel. That being said, I will see you guys in the next one.